Hey, welcome to This Is Reviewable with Camden and Olivia.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We'd like to introduce our guest today, Braden and Micah. We're super excited to have you guys.
We've been dying to have them on ever since we started.
And they've just been begging and begging.
We've been big fans.
I know, we're super fans.
Yeah, well, they finally made their way up here to visit us, so
Yeah.
it's been long enough, but,
So welcome to the pod.
welcome.
Oh,
yeah.
thanks, everybody.
We've been working really hard on it and glad to finally have you.
Oh.
Well, what's weird is even though they're the hosts, they asked us to explain what we're doing for this episode, which is really weird. What are we doing for this episode, other guest, Micah?
Oh. Well, why don't you guys tell us about yourselves? a little
Oh,
bit,
right.
Oh, yeah.
Since we don't know you.
The host.
Yeah.
Right.
Well-
And I'm sure all the listeners are strangers
Well,
out there that don't know who we are either.
Yeah, well, you already all know us so well, but anyway, yeah, so just to introduce ourselves, Camden and Olivia Nielsen. I grew up with Braden. I think we've known each other since 4th grade,
Yeah,
I want to say. So been best friends all growing up, and then,
Well, best friends.
best friends. And then Olivia and
Oh,
I got,
why?
huh?
Mine are your best friend?
You're my wife.
Different category.
That's like a legal thing.
Okay. Anyways,
Yeah.
keep going.
And, yeah, Olivia and I have been married about 5 years. We have a little 3-year-old, have another baby on the way. We live in Arizona right now.
Boo.
And Olivia does not like that fact. But hoping maybe to come back here, live in Utah, maybe hopefully be on. Hopefully, Braden and Micah can be on more guest podcasts with us. So.
Yeah, we would love that.
Yeah, that'd be
So,
fun.
what's your guys' 5-year plan?
Well,
I don't even have a 1-year plan.
So, what would you say are your strengths and maybe one of your weaknesses?
What do you think you bring to this podcast?
why are you asking us that? Because we invited you on.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
What do we really bring to this?
Honestly, nothing.
All right.
I just like to run my mouth.
Well,
I guess we should just leave.
we're actually, funny enough, not as big movie buffs as you guys, but
Pretty basic. I mean, we're talking about books today. I'm talking about a Colleen Hoover book. So, I mean, that's what I'm bringing to the table.
I forgot about her. She's
That's
so
pretty
good.
good.
But what we're bringing to the table, I think, is just average opinions about movies that deserve more than average opinions about. So,
That's
or shows.
That's really what we are too, though. Like, we're not film critics or anything. I don't got a degree in film or anything like that.
Is that required?
Yeah.
We're just average Joes talking about it
Just
as
shooting
well.
the ship.
That's
Can I
right.
say shit?
You
Yeah,
can
just
say,
don't say the F word.
You can say
Okay.
shit. You can say. You can say.
We told you don't say the F word.
Oh,
Now
really?
Camden's mom won't listen.
I'll bleep it out.
Bleep
You guys
out the F
bleep
word.
it out.
The
We
rest of
bleep out
them-
every F word. Yeah.
Keep it clean for the kids
Yeah.
out there that are listening.
The only
Yeah.
words we don't bleep out are the C word,
Uh,
the
What C word are you saying? The CU word?
yeah.
Is there another C word?
No, that's the only one I know of.
I
Well, we
hate
just
that
found
word.
out that.
The
Oh, we have to
hate,
bleep
hate
that.
that
for sure.
word.
I don't know. When I was 12, that was a bad word. We'd say crepe.
Seriously?
Crepe?
Crepe.
Well,
yeah.
I also didn't say like stupid or
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Shut
yeah.
shut up.
Idiot.
We weren't allowed to
But-
say but.
Yeah, you shouldn't say that.
But
Mhm.
I think
Fart.
You guys
No.
are making me
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
I remember like when one of my friends was allowed to start saying but, and the rest of us were like, whoa.
You should hear our
His,
third one say
his
butt.
parents must be
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Pretty cute.
Yeah, but her siblings did not adhere to that anymore. 'Cause,
Oh yeah, the younger
They're
siblings.
so rude to each other.
Yeah, I would come over for dinner, like especially when I first start dating, like shut up, Ella, you're so stupid. I was like, holy crap, because like we never said anything like that in my
Yeah.
house.
Mhm.
But
But our daughter says, like, guess what? Chicken butt.
That's
Oh,
pretty.
that's
That's pretty
so
good.
funny.
she
It's
gets
pretty
everybody
funny.
with the chicken butt. It's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
she thinks it's. She does get everybody.
She'll just be like,
they never see it coming.
you just kind of sit there, and she's like, chicken butt. And you're like, all right, got me. I was teaching you how to say gotcha, and it was like the funniest thing.
My nephew, when he was little, the funniest joke that he came up with was, "Hey, do you want some ice cream?" And he'd go, "Yeah." He'd go, "Just kidding."
Dude. God,
Just
kid.
playing with your feelings there.
I know. You're
Messed
4
up.
years old. Where are you gonna get some ice cream? What was I thinking?
So okay. So this is gonna be.
Oh yeah, why don't you introduce
an
what
unconventional format. We figured this is the end of the year,
Oh, it's the start of the year.
right? I mean, but we planned this before the year was over, right before the year was over. So we're just
Yeah.
gonna go through our favorite video games, books, series, and movies of this year. In that order, I think. I think it'd be cool to do movies last. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
We're done with that.
We're going to have everybody say their short list. So however many you've got on your short list for that category. And then
We could have picked more than one.
Well,
Camden.
I think honorable mentions is what
yeah,
I told
that's
you.
what it is. It's like honorable
I'm pretty
mentions.
sure I told you that.
I picked one for each catergory.
I think I
My
told
research
you.
is done.
Liv's
I
short list
just
will
really
be
had to narrow it
You can
down.
just-
Liv's
mean-
short list will be very short.
Well,
I
I have all
I
the shows
couldn't
that we.
decide.
No, I had to weed out the ones that
I had all the shows that we watched together, so she can look over my list
Oh, yeah.
and just
That's
like
true.
choose. But
he
also
had a
she
really good memory. I was so lost
also
on things we've done.
she only played like one video game this year. So,
Animal Crossing.
So
It's a
is
good
that
one.
so
It is a good one.
So
We
that's
got
like
a-
her game of the
We
year.
got
Yeah.
a Switch,
Hey,
and it took me back to my like
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo.
sorry
days.
to spoil, but yeah, that was hers. But
So then after your short list, say your runner up to give special, credit. Say a nice thing about it if you want. Or if you don't want to, you don't have to. But then your top pick, and then
Well, let's go this way
and
because
then
I don't want to go first.
okay, and then
So Braden
explain what
starts.
you like about it. So should we start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, what are we starting
it's a
with?
game first.
Video game.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's a game that you play, and it's in a video format. Usually, you play it with a controller. For those of you that don't know what that is,
You should probably go into the history of
yeah,
the first console. And
yeah,
I think it was
Bing,
Pong, but
Pong,
I don't
you're
think that was
right.
on a console. So I don't know what the first console was. Maybe Atari.
yeah. That's what I've got.
Sounds
Or
right to
Sega,
me.
maybe.
No, I think Pong was on a console.
I mean, eventually,
Maybe.
yeah. But
I don't know.
How
I don't know
Pong,
that it-
Pong,
I thought
Pong
it
was
was
its
on a
own little
computer.
game.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, okay.
I think it was.
Was that
I think it.
in the 70s?
60s, 70s.
Something.
Really? That early 60s?
I just remember it being in the background of Zodiac when he goes to Robert
Yeah.
Downey Jr.'s house.
So when was
Oh, was it?
Zodiac killing people?
Is that the one with Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
So here's my short list. Ready? We've got Tears of the Kingdom, Pikmin 4.
You didn't even beat Tears of the Kingdom.
I played a decent amount of it.
That's his goal for 2024, right,
Okay.
Braden?
Yeah, I'm gonna beat Tears of the Kingdom. Who has beaten Tears of the Kingdom?
I think two of my brothers at least have beat that game.
I
Nerd.
feel like
and my brother-in-law.
I feel like everyone dumps like 40 plus hours into it, and they get burnt out and they don't finish it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
what
what
happened to me. You did not play 40
I've
hours.
said like 30 maybe,
No.
at least 20.
Maybe 15.
That's why it's on here.
I played for 2
I
hours.
played it enough. It's on the list.
I bought the game.
I can appreciate it
It
even if
made
I
it
didn't
into the
finish it.
console.
That's also something. I think that if you've played 20 plus hours of something, it's fair game to talk about if you really liked it.
I don't think I played 20 hours
What?
with Animal Crossing, did I?
That's fine. I think
You
Animal
probably-
Crossing is
you-
an
You
exception.
played at
I
least,
might have
at
played like
least two.
19. I might have played 19 hours, but not
I
20.
think you played at least two. So that's
I
pretty
mean,
good.
I think it would be weird if you like didn't finish a game and it's your favorite game of the year. So I guess I've just spoiled that it's not going to win.
All my games of the year I did not finish. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's okay.
I didn't know that you could finish the games that you played.
yeah, I mean, there's like a story, and then
Yeah.
you finish the story.
Wait, are you being
There's-
serious?
Well, he was like Call of Duty.
Oh.
Yeah,
So-
well, I'm
I
just
don't
saying.
think that
Oh,
you
multiplayer.
beat them.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like for like the story mode, like you
I feel like
can
what
play-
other games do you play? I feel like you only play Call of Duty
Well, earlier in the year, I was playing other games.
before like our lives turned upside down with school and pregnancy.
Yeah, I
and
think
a move.
more. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just don't have a lot of time. I'll get into that
He's a
during,
single
during
dad.
my bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a single mom.
Yeah, that's
So-
yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's a tough life.
And the host of a podcast.
Yeah, I got lots going
This
on.
one, in fact.
It's true.
Okay, do you guys want to hear the rest of my short list?
Yeah, keep going.
Fine.
Only if you finish them though.
Next on the short list, Pikmin 4. Oh, I don't know why this is on my list. I didn't play that.
I put that there.
Well, it's gone now. Celeste, which I have talked about on this podcast. Cuphead, which I've also talked about. Have a Nice Death, Doom Eternal, and Hades. Also, disclaimer: these are the video games, the TV shows, the books, and the movies that we're talking about don't have to have come out this year. They just have to be
Yeah.
new to you this year.
Yeah, new good disclaimer.
Yeah, that's my short list. My number 2. I'm on my number 2.
Yeah, number
So-
two mentioned.
Pikmin 4 is my number 2. My runner-up. I really loved this game. We played Pikmin 3 together, Micah and I. Pikmin 3 was fun, but Pikmin 4 is better in like pretty much every way. It's just delightful.
What's the premise? What do you like about it?
So so it's like you're this little guy, little spaceman,
Mm-hmm.
and you're running
Cool
around.
pie, right?
No, that's from the first game. You're from from the third game. You're from a different planet in this game. But you end up stranded, and you're trying to repair your ship, and there's all these little colorful little people, little tiny things. They all have different abilities. So like the yellow Pikmin can
Or electricity, and blue ones are water, and the red ones are fire.
There's ice, there's rock, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so you've got this like army of Pikmin that you're controlling, and you got to divide them to like go accomplish tasks and
Fight enemies.
Pick things up, bring them back to the ship. So it's like sort of a resource management game, but it's really cute and it's just fun.
It's a fun game. I played like Pikmin 1 and maybe 2 when I was younger.
Okay.
But
I have not played those.
yeah, they're fun.
I thought that Pikmin 4, because I liked 3, but I loved 4.
Okay.
So 4 is definitely worth playing if you haven't played Pikmin in a while. So that's my number 2. And my number 1 is Cuphead.
Do you have to rate it or just the
No,
your
I'm
top
not.
game?
I'm not rating it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Unless you want to.
Yeah, I guess if you want to, you can. But I just won't. But my number 1 is Cuphead. And this is like kind of a little bit of a cheat because I had played Cuphead before. But this is the first time I really buckled down and finished it. And I finished the DLC. And as mad as it makes me, I just love it. It's just so cool. Like the art style is so good. The music is so good. The combat's fun. It's just great.
You know what's funny about you playing Cuphead is my brothers like just bought it a few days ago, and they were playing it, and I was playing it with my brother, and it was like so hard.
Yeah,
like the first boss, which is the easiest one of the game typically, right? So I think I died before we beat it, and like my brother had to kind of like carry and beat it for us. But then I was like, Braden like beat this game on his own, and my brothers were like, bro, like what? How did they do that? Because it's so hard. And then I remember listening to the episode where you were like talking about it, and how Micah had to like make you stop playing sometimes
because I got
so mad. And I was like, this totally makes sense because I don't know how you like beat that game all by yourself because it's so hard.
I didn't even know it was multiplayer.
It is. It's actually
2-player. Yeah,
it's actually harder 2-player.
Oh, you have like less lives and stuff, or
I think the bosses have more health.
Okay.
And then I've never done it 2-player, but when you are playing it, do you share lives at all?
I don't think so. You can kind of like save the other person. So like say I think in the beginning of the game you have like 3 lives, and then if you parry, you can like save the other person.
Each character has 3 hits.
The very beginning of the game.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know like what the damage does. Like maybe the damage is lower for each character, or maybe like
could be.
Maybe the bosses are harder if it's like co-op, but it's super hard, and just dodging the attacks and like killing the boss is really hard.
That's a game you have to get good to beat.
Yeah.
And like at a certain point you do. My certain point was probably like 10 bosses in or something like that, and it just started to click, and then I just started becoming a ninja.
Yeah.
And I could like get out of the way of a bunch of attacks that would have killed me before.
Yeah.
But I loved this game, so that's me. That's mine. Which way are we going?
Yeah.
We're going this way.
Micah next.
All right, Micah's next.
Okay.
Oh, do I need to? Did I bring it back?
No, I put. Well, I already know.
Okay, good.
It's fine. So on my list, I played Cult of the Lamb this year, and I guess Tears of the Kingdom makes it on there. But Pikmin 4 definitely makes it on there. Honestly, that's the only games I can think of that I've played this year.
Did you beat Nobody Saves the World this year?
I can't remember.
Okay.
I did a lot of repeats this year. I got into a slump with video games for a while, and nothing sounded fun.
Oh, you played Mario Odyssey.
I didn't beat it.
Oh,
Mario
Odyssey.
You did.
Game.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Okay. That game was frustrating to me.
Odyssey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that you were supposed to like collect, what was it, the stars or something?
Moons.
Yeah, the moons. So I went through like the whole
man.
game without collecting like any moons, and then I had to go back through and collect them all.
You didn't want to get all the cool stuff you could buy in the stores though.
She got a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, when I went back.
Yeah.
Because I basically like went back and replayed the game. My downfall is that I hate reading the words. I hate it when video games have too much talking, so I just click through it
And she'll just miss important stuff
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time.
all the time.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I just get frustrated.
Like she'll walk into an encounter and there'll be dialogue and then she'll click, and then the guy's attacking her and she's like, "What?
What's going on? Told me that.
He just told you that. You didn't read it.
Why is this guy mad at me?
Well, yeah, and then I get like frustrated that I don't know what to do, but like the guy told me what I was supposed to do, but I didn't listen. So I think my favorite game of the year, and I think I looked back and I played this in January of last year.
Do you not want to say your second place?
Oh, I was gonna go 1-2.
I can do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
My favorite game this year was probably Cult of the Lamb. And it's this game where you're this little lamb and you have to go out and like go on crusades to like fight monsters. And while you're out on crusade, you can save people and convert them into your cult. So then I named my cult, you get to name your cult, and I named it Cult of the Butt. Which is pretty good.
So,
Yeah.
so every time she goes back to her base,
It says Cult of the Butt.
yeah, big like title screen.
Yeah. And like your cult members, like they like chop down trees, like basically build resources, and you have to like take care of them and stuff like that. And you go out on crusade to get like money and like beat
Well,
all the bosses and stuff.
tell them about the rituals.
Oh yeah, there's like different rituals. So every day you're supposed to preach to your.
Well, if it's a cult, then
Yeah, you have
of
to.
course.
Exactly.
You have to keep their faith high.
Yeah.
Were you a worthy cult leader?
The first time, yeah. The second time, not so good. So some of the rituals that you do, so you're supposed to like preach to your cult members every single day to like keep their faith high. And so some of the rituals like will get like build more faith, and some of them will decrease faith. So there's like a feast that you can do, and that builds faith, or like you can sacrifice someone, and like the animation in this game is really fun. Like,
Yeah. They all look so cute.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like you're
It's all hand drawn too. It looks really
cool.
It looks
Yeah.
really cool.
one of the rituals is you can marry one of your
Like
followers.
Okay.
and like you can once a day you can kiss them, and then like their
Wow.
dialogue
That's-
I know
That's nice.
and their dialogue is
Crazy.
like, the leader has blessed me with a kiss, I'm so in love, or something
Aw.
like that. Or like you can give them like psychedelic mushrooms, and then they're like
Even
stuck on full health or a full faith for like 3 days or something
Nice.
like that.
And then, so like the second time, did you treat them badly and you did bad stuff to them and they didn't like you?
Yeah,
or-
so the second time is when I was like marrying them, and I had like multiple like spouses. I had like 4 spouses at one time, which like they say you have to be careful about because like they'll get really jealous,
Whoa.
and then they'll ask you to kill each other. Like, oh my god.
Well, and you used to, didn't you use, because your cult members die,
Yeah.
so you bury them.
hmm
You need to dispose of the bodies in a humane way, or
Yeah.
your cult people will be
Yeah.
upset at you.
Yeah, so you have the option of like
There's a lot
Prepare-
of intricacies
Yeah.
with this cult.
you can like prepare the body for burial, or you can chop up the meat and like deal with that. And like if you chop up the meat, if you do it in front of your followers, like they'll get upset. But if you do it in the middle of the night, they don't know, and then it's
Do
fine.
you feed it to them or it's just chopped
No,
up?
well,
Yes,
It's just like
you
this
can.
roast.
sometimes they ask you to, and that's the only time I would because I felt bad about it.
Okay.
But you can. You're supposed to prepare meals for your followers.
Yeah,
so-
and so like sometimes
so-
they'll ask you to like. One of them will be upset at another follower, and they'll be like, "Can you please give them a bowl of poop?" And you're like, "Okay, like I guess I have to do it because otherwise, like you lose faith."
So whatever keeps the faith going.
Exactly. I
Exactly.
just have to keep the followers happy.
I can see Liv actually liking this game.
I think you
because
would. It's
because I just
fun.
feel like she would just mess with her
Yeah.
followers or like just take care of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
She
like
would have fun doing
It
that.
it kind of is like
She's not a gamer. Let me just preface: like Liv is not a gamer. She likes
I'm like
Animal
listening to all
Crossing.
these like names of video games, and I'm like, I've never heard that in
Yeah.
my life.
Well, to be fair, some of these games are more like I guess indie games.
Yeah.
Which means like they're not
Okay.
big.
that's what I
Okay.
like.
Yeah.
Right.
And but I could see Liv getting into these.
Well,
just,
and
like,
it's fun because like
Yeah.
Animal Crossing is so fun, but you get tired of doing the
The
same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
It's like
well,
Cult of
that's
the
why I
Lamb.
stopped
Yeah.
playing. And the reason why I didn't really get into video games when I was a kid is because my two brothers were literally so obsessed,
Yeah.
and they had like complete control
Anger
of
management
the
issues.
Wii, the Xbox
Yeah.
360, the DSs. Like
Yeah.
my sister and I didn't stand a chance, and so like there was just
Yeah.
a monopoly in my house on video games, and I
Although-
just never got into it.
It'll be interesting. So, like we've talked about, I tried playing Lego Star Wars with Liv. I think it was like earlier this year.
That one
No.
has too much
And-
talking.
Okay, no, that's
That
not,
wasn't the
that's not
problem.
the problem. I just
Liv
I-
she hasn't played video games. It's been too long since she's
I
played,
can't
so
navigate.
she can't understand like that you have like the movement stick and then the camera stick. And
Half
that
the
was,
time
like,
I'm
so-
staring at the ceiling
That-
and running into walls.
We're like,
yeah.
I'm like, Liv,
Micah
move,
struggles with that.
move
Yeah.
your camera so you're like facing this way. She's like, no, like I don't understand.
But like
So-
the
this one you
original
don't have to
Lego
worry
Star
about.
Wars
Yeah.
Where the
on the
camera's
Wii
fixed.
in like
Yeah.
2010.
A lot of the
You
games that I
just run
play
around.
have like a fixed camera.
Yeah, fixed
'Cause
camera.
I don't really like having to deal with that.
No, it's too many like
Too many
both my
things going on,
hands
yeah.
going. Yeah.
The only
Yeah.
thing I could ever do it on is Minecraft on the computer.
Well, no, you did. This was a big breakthrough for you this year. Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, yeah,
Tears
it
of the
was.
Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's
Because she finally got used to the two-stick
yeah.
system with Tears of
Um,
the Kingdom.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
Anything with a scope, like I think Camden tried to
It's
get
so
me to play.
It's too many
like
things
Call
to pay
of Duty
attention to.
or something. Or
don't think
I mean,
could get you
years
Call
ago,
of Duty.
like I feel like years ago, you wanted me to
I don't
like,
think Call of Duty.
but one of those games with the guns.
I don't know what game with the guns. I
Oh,
would've
that
wanted to play.
game!
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Aye, that one.
I think I know what you're
the
talking
game
about.
with the guns. My
One of the
favorite.
games with the
Yeah,
guns.
Portal.
I don't know what it was, but
No, Portal 2.
Portal.
I
2.
actually, you know what though is like growing up she loved Harry Potter, so I feel like you would love Hogwarts Legacy. But there's like a funny TikTok right now of this like girl trying to play.
Yeah, no, I've
Hogwarts
seen
Legacy,
that. On
and
my
she
yeah.
and she cannot figure out the camera, so she's like running into walls and
No,
stuff.
it's
It's really
literally-
funny.
Well, I don't think it runs very well on the Switch, does it?
I doubt it.
No, actually, so it's surprisingly good.
Oh, really?
But it obviously kind of looks like shit
Oh,
compared to the real version. But
like oh yeah, okay, that's fair.
but apparently like it runs
runs
pretty
okay.
smooth. Yeah.
I feel like even Tears of the Kingdom has issues.
Yeah.
That's what Braden
Which
was
is
saying,
tough.
but I didn't notice.
I don't know. I'm not even like far into the game.
Yeah.
and it has
We-
issues.
You know what's so dumb is I got to like the very end
Uh huh.
and then I stopped playing. I like beat.
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
get that
What's his
though.
name? Ganondorf?
Again.
I beat him one time and then you like have to go.
You have to go find him again. or
Yeah, and
whatever.
I never found him again.
Oh.
Well, I didn't want to. I just gave up.
You were like, well, I've already seen him. And
Exactly.
I've already done it.
Exactly.
He's not scary. I beat him once.
Well, okay. Well, this is what happened. Is I beat him once, and then I was like, "Oh crap! I'm close to the end of the game. I'm not ready for this game to be over." So then I started looking for all of the side quests, and then I got burnt out.
Oh.
Well, I feel like that's
yeah.
common in like
Side
TV
quests are
shows too.
tough.
Yeah.
Like one of the TV shows that I loved, I'll get into. I didn't even finish it because
Yeah.
I liked it so much. I'm like, well, I don't want this to end.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch the last
Yeah.
episode.
Did you want to talk about? Are we done talking about Cold Land? Sorry, we kind of like interrupted you.
Oh no, you're fine. I think
We're
my
really
number
bad
2 is
hosts.
Pikmin 4.
Pikmin 4.
Yeah.
Number
so.
2. Okay, cool.
Pikmin 4 getting high honors.
Olivia has a lot to say about video games, so let's let her get into it.
She's our gamer girl.
What's your short list, Liv?
Animal Crossing. What was that one zombie one that we played? With,
Plants vs Zombies.
No. Actually, no. It was like the murderer, and you. Was it Dead
But
by?
what is
Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight. I
The
watched
Last
him
of Us.
play.
Basically
I
the
got
same
really
thing.
into it watching him play. It's scary. Have you guys
It
played
is
that one
scary.
before?
It's pretty fun. You probably don't know the premise.
I just remember. Actually, I think I played for like a minute,
Did
and
you?
it was too stressful for me.
It is stressful.
Wait,
And
maybe we
so-
should be friends on Animal Crossing.
We should be. Camden's my only friend.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you can't really like play together with one system, so.
Yeah, should
Yeah.
be friends.
Oh, okay.
I need to get back into it, especially
Um,
after I
Figure out
finish
how to do
school.
that.
Baby, our baby. You'll just be like nursing our baby and building stuff in the village and stuff, I guess.
Well, I need something to do.
Yeah. So, the premise of Dead by Daylight is just like you can be like a different monster or like killer from like mostly movie history, but
Oh, I've seen
you can be like
this.
a ghoul or you could be
Yeah.
like Freddy Krueger or whatever, and then there's like all
That's
these
the one that was the most scary.
and all these other characters like are trying to run around and like repair these generators with lights, and once you repair the generators, then you can open like this gate and get out. But the killer obviously is trying to go around and like kill all of you before you can get out. But it's like super scary because like the killer, like your heart starts beating faster and you can like hear the effects of that and you're just trying to run away. And
I think it's
they
just,
just like pop out of nowhere and then you're like, ah! And then you like run away. You're trying to like run away.
My
and
nervous
then-
system just gets so shot
Yeah.
playing that game because it's like you hear the heartbeat, you hear the breathing, and then you can hear the killer
Wait, how
coming.
can you even play that?
Wait,
with
It's
your
like an
anxiety?
immersive experience.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know because like I don't know. I play with one of my friends and it's just like a really good time because like one of us like and then they also like pick you up and they like put you on this like hook and then
It's really gruesome.
and then someone has to like come over and like get you off of this hook and then you're like injured and then they can
Oh, so it's like an online
bandage you
game.
up. Yeah, so you
Okay.
like it's like a co-op game. So like it's like you can be the
never
killer.
or
You can be the killer or like the people trying to escape.
So this sounds like Among Us.
Can you be the
It's-
alien from Aliens?
I don't know. There's like certain characters you have to DLC or like buy, but it's really like I'm not super great at being the killer, and then sometimes it's like mean because the killer will like kill you and then just like leave you in a corner and kind of like troll you and like just like
And teabag? you?
yeah, and just kind of teabag you and then but like especially if you're the last character and they mess with you, and you're like, dude, like just kill me, like end the game.
I never made it that far.
That actually, that sounds kind of funny.
But
That
they,
would
like,
be
think
you, Braden. You're
I
Yeah.
think you guys would
Yeah.
like it.
yeah, because you're like trying to, because sometimes you can like crawl away or pick yourself up, and so sometimes they'll just like wait till you like pick yourself up, and they'll just like kill you again, and you're on the ground. You're like, this is super
That's
lame,
funny.
but
But I think those
Yeah.
are the only two games that
even touch.
I mean, Lego Star Wars I tried for like 20 minutes and then Camden was just yelling at me the whole time.
Okay, I wasn't yelling. I was just trying to get you to like go the right
Camden, why are
way.
you
This is
yelling
Liv's
at
turn.
her?
It just gets really heated
Oh, sorry.
when
This is her
I'm
truth.
doing something wrong and he's trying to correct
No,
me.
that's fair. When we played Unraveled 2, we could only play a little bit at a time because we would just get into huge arguments.
Well,
Yeah.
well, we would mess with each other though, because like
No, yeah. We would be playing and like both of us would be doing a good job, and then I would be a brat, and then Braden would start being a brat, and then I'm like, I want to play for real, and then he's still being a brat, and then I would get mad, and then it was just like a
Yeah.
cycle.
yeah.
We're just brats.
Is that like
basically.
a co-op game? Too?
Yeah. you're like
Uh,
connected together.
let's just two-player.
Okay.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
find a game like that.
It's good. It's really fun.
Like where we can play together.
And that one's
maybe
fun.
with a fixed camera though.
It is.
That has
Yeah,
fixed
I would
Yeah.
absolutely need that.
Yeah.
That one is pretty good. It
I like
gets
it a
harder.
lot.
Like it builds up to being harder, but
It's
it's,
like
just
a
like
puzzle slash
solving.
platforming
Yeah.
thing.
That'd be fun. Okay, I guess I'll go into my games. I didn't play a ton this year. I'm a single mom at night from about 5:30 p.m.
Right, you're
to
Liv.
10 p.m.
You're Liv. We just heard
Yeah.
from Camden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my top games this year that I played, and Braden's probably gonna be mad at me for not finishing one of them. The games I played this year and finished, I think I played Super Mario Odyssey and the
That's the one I
Donkey
played.
Kong like winter one. Like
Oh,
the
Tropical Freeze.
Tropical
You liked
Freeze.
it?
It was good.
I love that game.
I played God of War Ragnarok, which is an awesome game, but I didn't finish it because I just got, I don't know, busy. And then The Witcher. I played a lot of The Witcher, but never finished it.
I love that game.
I
too.
probably got halfway through. It's a really long game.
Yeah.
And I
Was
actually
it a
really
game
like
first
it.
and then a show?
It was a
book
book
first.
first,
Book,
and then a game.
game,
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, so it's really the trifecta. It's made everything but a movie, I guess.
The Witcher 3, right? You said that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Witcher 3. I didn't say that actually.
Okay.
Witcher 3.
Yeah.
It's really fun. My honorable mention is going to be The Witcher 3. I think it's really fun.
I love that game.
I think that what's I like about it is it's a lot of diversity, lots of things to do. What I don't like, sometimes like the monsters are kind of tricky, and like
Yeah.
and you have to like get the right stuff to beat them. God of War is just like an awesome game.
Is this your number one?
Number one game is God of War Ragnarok.
Did you
It
play that?
just the storytelling is awesome. The combat is so fun. If you've ever played the other games, like especially God of War that came out in 2018, it's just like the story's really good. The character development, like you can tell they really just grow as characters, and it continues in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And it's just super fun. Like Atreus is super fun to play as and like learn his story. And then I don't remember the other character's name, which is really weird because he's like the main character.
Kratos? Well, I remember seeing like clips from the first 3 God of Wars when I was growing up, and like it's always been like a really popular franchise.
Right.
It's just a hack and slash game
Yeah.
with this guy that's just killing every Greek god that you can possibly
Yeah.
think of. But like all the gods are angry and like just mean, and Kratos is just always angry and mean. And I remember seeing like some of the clips from God of War 2018, and it feels so different to like the way that those first three felt.
Yeah.
And I was like, this looks freaking awesome.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
And like like the first games had story, but this is just like I think way more character development and like and storytelling than the other ones were.
Because Kratos is trying to be like better.
A good better, because he's a father and like he's just trying to be a better person, and the story is really captivating.
Yeah.
So that's my top one. I really like it.
Yeah.
So I would just recommend anybody play that game. I know like not everybody has a PlayStation or
a
it's
PC.
kind of annoying, but
PC,
yeah. But it's awesome. I need to finish. I need to get back into it. There's just a ton of games to play, obviously.
Yeah, those games have been on my list. Well, 2018 since 2018, and then Ragnarok as well. I don't have a PS station.
Yeah.
PI Staker.
Nice.
Mr. Staker. Yeah, Mr. Peter Ian Staker.
P.I. Staker.
Yeah.
Right. Piss taker. Come on! Yes, Mr. Staker.
Okay, what are we on? Movies? No.
No,
books.
Books now. For me, this is a really competitive category. I'll just rattle off I read 30 books this year.
Good job, Braden.
That's great.
That's
And when I say
that's like
read,
That's like 28 more than I read.
how many's that a month? Like
a little
like-
over,
yeah.
little over 2.
two?
Yeah.
That's good.
What was I gonna say? I read like 2 of them. I listened to most of these.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, this is my short list. The first one is Man's Search for Meaning. What's the name of the dude? A concentration camp survivor. So this is sort of like he was a psychologist before he went into the concentration camp, and he came up with this new form of therapy that helped get him through the concentration camp and afterwards, like dealing with it.
Is this like an autobiography?
Oh,
That's-
cool.
It's really
Insane.
good. Yeah.
How old is he?
Ooh, I don't know.
Well, maybe he was younger when he wrote the book.
Oh, is
But he might be
it?
super old now.
Well, is it a recent book?
no,
Or
No.
new to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
New to me. All of these are new to me. I don't think any of these are
Okay.
2023. I read To Kill a Mockingbird
I never read that.
for the first time.
Really? We
Yeah.
own it.
Yeah, I need to. I just don't read that much.
It's
Yeah.
freaking great. You should
Just
read
a
it.
classic.
A Tale of Two Cities, Sense and Sensibility, Moneyball, East of Eden, Death in Florence.
You're just naming off every book that you read this
No,
year?
these are my favorite ones that I read
Is
this
there
year.
a cap?
I'm almost at the end.
You're my top 30.
How many is this actually? This is at least 10. 1, 2,
Oh
my
3,
gosh,
that's
4,
third.
5, 6, 7,
Well, at least
8,
you're
9,
reading
10.
books
It is
that you
10.
like.
It's exactly
Yeah.
10. All right.
Nothing worse than reading a book you don't like, though. Like
That happened to me
getting
a lot
getting to
this
the
year.
end, and you're just like, dude,
Yeah.
I actually didn't like that, but I felt like I had to finish it.
Yeah.
I only read a couple that I didn't like this
That
year.
happened to me a lot this year.
Yeah, just feel like a lot of wasted time.
Well, once you
Yeah.
get past 40% of the book, you feel like you're just kind of in it.
You have
Yeah.
to.
But at that point, you also like
You know what?
didn't know if it was going to get better. Or not.
Yeah, the worst thing is like when someone recommends the book, so you feel like
You have to like
think you'll
it,
like it, and then
Yeah.
you just end up not.
and it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Republic of Pirates, A Christmas Carol, and Micah will like this. Around the World in 80 Days made my short list.
Nice.
Yeah. It's not going to win, though.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
What comes in second is To Kill a Mockingbird.
What?
This was a really tough call for me to make, too, because I really loved some of these. But I loved To Kill a Mockingbird. I thought it was awesome. Very good coming-of-age, anti-racism story. And it's a great story, too.
But you didn't read it in high school?
No.
No,
Really?
we didn't have to. Yeah.
Did you have to read it in high school?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually happy I didn't have to read it in high school because, as a stupid kid, maybe I wouldn't have liked it.
I think I was pretty
I
lucky
don't
with a
know.
lot of my English teachers that they read these books to us in class for
Oh.
the most part. It was probably them
Oh.
being lazy that they didn't
It
want to
wasn't
come
like
up
a
with a lesson
summer
plan.
assignment that you were like driving your
I
teacher
think-
to read.
I think though the books we had in high school are good. The only one I didn't read, which I kind of regret, is 1984.
You didn't have to read that one?
Well, we did. I just didn't. I just spark
Yeah.
notes, tried to get my way through it, and definitely didn't do great on some quizzes because I didn't know what had actually happened. I just got the synopsis.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I need to reread a lot of those books.
but
that we
I
read
don't know.
in
I feel
high
like that's a
school.
very relevant book right now. I wish I had.
I'm going to
So-
reread that too at some point.
Yeah.
My number one, though, was A Tale of Two Cities.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've only read the first paragraph.
It's rough.
The best of times, worst of times, all that.
I love the way he writes, but I understand that it's tough to read a Dickens book.
Yeah.
Because he loves to just play around with his sentences. But once you are in it and you start appreciating it, there's really not another author like him that I've found. He's just really funny with the way that he writes his sentences and just very clever. And the ending of this book shooketh me.
What's the premise?
So it's set near the beginning of the French Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
So you're following the lives of this family that emigrated with an E from France to London.
Okay.
And, sort of once the revolution starts happening, how does that affect their life?
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
eventually those worlds merge again. And
Oh.
A Tale of Two Cities.
Tale of Two
one could
Cities,
say.
London and Paris.
Yeah, that's a good name for the book.
That is.
Yeah.
It's so
Nice
freaking
job coming
good.
up with that. Yeah.
And the ending is one of the most satisfying, bittersweet endings I've ever read. It's really freaking good.
Is there a movie of that? Probably.
I've never
At
seen
least
one.
it would have to be really old. I bet.
Yeah,
I feel like that would make a good movie.
I think so too. I wish they would make one. It's
Yeah.
it's great. But I understand maybe some people will start reading it and get discouraged because Dickens is tough to understand sometimes.
So Christmas Carol, same thing, difficult the same way, or not so much.
This one's harder.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say.
Is
Plus
that one
Christmas-
that you read physically, or you?
This one I
listened to?
didn't read. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I listened.
Maybe
to this
that.
one.
I wonder if that would make it easier or harder though to follow. I guess maybe it depends on what
Yeah.
kind of person you are. If you're a
Yeah.
better listener or reader.
It depends on
Yeah.
how because I did read a Dickens after this, and I feel like I took more from A Tale of Two Cities than I did from the one that I actually read.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, I love this book. Give it a try. Give it at least 100 pages maybe. And if
How long is it?
Don't know.
100 pages.
More than 100 pages. I don't know. Maybe 50 pages is fair. But yeah.
Just get through the first.
Yeah, just try. If you're understanding enough, you can always use Spark Notes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like a really good story.
Yeah, it's good. But that's it. Go, Micah.
That's great.
I just counted and I read 42 books this year.
Wow.
Holy
Yeah.
freak.
Yeah.
Do you listen while you're at work too?
Yeah.
I need to start listening.
Wait, how many? 42?
to books during
Yeah.
the day.
You almost read 4 books a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so last year I had a goal to
Well,
read.
not really.
When I say read, I listen to
6
them.
short.
Yeah.
So I had a goal to read 50 books last year,
Oh.
and it really I didn't love having a goal.
Oh, really?
And I ended up reading 58 books, but towards the end, it was really hard. It felt like a chore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this year, I really did not keep track of how many books I've read.
I feel like the better thing is just if you're interested in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so last year, towards the end of the year, I definitely was just reading books just to get through them. And then once I hit 50, I was
Like Captain Underpants.
Mhm.
Just I'll
Exactly.
just listen to the audiobook.
Calvin
Exactly.
Hobbes.
Get through it in 10 minutes. That's a book. Tell me.
no.
I mean, if that's the case, I read 5 books a day with my kid.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I read lots of books with Cozy.
Liv is at 200 books for the year.
Read
Just in 2024, I'm done. My goal was met.
the Mouse, the Bear, the Red Ripe Strawberry,
Classic.
read that.
Oh, yeah, we all know that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
We all know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the top of my list, I think I read Pride and Prejudice this year, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah, so that made my list. Project Hail Mary is on my list. The Fourth Wing series, did you read that?
I haven't yet. It's on my list. I need to finish. I'm getting through the ACOTAR series, and I'm on
A
Silver
Court
Flame.
of Thorns and Roses.
Oh,
For those
okay.
that don't know.
Oh, okay.
Camden is just now
Avatar.
learning
I just
about
don't
that.
know. She would just casually sometimes say ACOTAR. I'm like, what is
What
that?
is that?
Oh, okay. I think I read those.
So I'm on, I think it's 4 or 5 books. I'm on the last book. I read them back in 2022, I
Okay.
think, when I was like
Yeah.
in a big reading phase.
Mhm.
And like I got a Kindle and I was like reading like every
Yeah.
single day. But motherhood just kicks you down, but I want to get into what is
Okay.
it? Court of not court,
Fourth Wing.
Fourth
Fourth
Wing.
Wing.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
I think
a-
that series, I think that was a re-listen for me this year.
Because they just came out. The author just came out with
a new one or
the new
whatever.
book,
Yeah, so I
yeah.
think I re-listened to all of them.
Okay.
And then the last book that's on my list is The Rose Code, which you like historical fictions about like
Yeah.
World War II. Have you read like Kate Quinn's stuff? You should read some of her stuff. It's
Kate Quinn.
yeah, because it's I really like it because it has like a lot of like women in like the military and like how they were influential, but it's not like woke feminist stuff.
Yeah.
And so like The Rose Code is basically about how like during World War II they needed like code breakers and like how a lot of women went into and like were code breakers.
Is this
Yeah, that's
like
really
is
cool.
that based on historical facts?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
I'm going to put that in my notes right now because I will literally forget that as soon as we finish this conversation.
But honestly, I've read, I think Andy Weir has like 3 books.
The Martian.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
The Martian. Yeah, I read that one a couple years ago, but all 3 of his books are really good. If I had to rank them, which I am going to, it would be Project Hail Mary and then The Martian, but like really close under. And then a little bit farther down would be Artemis. Okay. But my favorite book is probably Project Hail Mary, and then the second one is Rose Code.
What's Project Hail Mary? What's that like about?
It's something is wrong with the Earth, and so they're trying to find like a new place that they could go. And so they send people out
It's like
into
a
space.
sci-fi.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they send people out into space, and the guy meets an alien and becomes friends with an alien and all that. So it's really
I
cool.
think that's something I would actually be.
When Andy Weir was I think he was a programmer.
Well, he was some kind of scientist or something.
And
so
he gets a lot of this like science from, the science and the science fiction. He gets a lot of it pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And he does it in a really interesting way where like I don't necessarily care about that stuff or understand it all the time, but he makes it really interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sort of the same way as Jules Verne with like Around the World in 80 Days or Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Okay.
Same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Okay. I didn't really read a lot in 2023. A lot of books that I read, I kind of got to the point where I'm like, I don't like this, but I have to finish it. I did start the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's not a new book, but like the Hunger Games book.
The movie came out this year.
Yeah, I'm rereading those books right now.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to end with that one.
And I haven't finished it yet, but I really like it. It kind of like took me back to like junior high, when we would read those books. And I've liked that. I read The Silent Patient, if you guys heard of that one. That one is about a psychologist that is treating this inpatient woman who has been convicted of murdering her husband, and she hasn't spoken since he died. And so he's basically trying to get to the root of like why she will not speak. And
Is
it takes
it a
a
true
lot
story?
no, it's
Okay.
not. It takes a lot of twists. If you like thrillers,
Sounds kind of Shutter Island-y.
actually,
kind of.
Yeah.
it very much so.
All right.
Very much. And then one of my favorite books was a Colleen Hoover book, which I actually don't love Colleen Hoover because I feel like her stories can be really simple, but it's called Reminders of Him, and that was probably my top one. Did you read that book, Micah?
I don't think I read that one.
What's that? What's it about?
It's about this girl who was convicted of manslaughter.
Oh no, I did read that one.
Yeah.
But not this year. I think I read that one last year.
Okay, and she's trying to reconnect with the baby that she had while she was in prison. Yeah. And I thought it was really sweet. Like, it was a little spicy, which I like.
Well, did you read Verity?
I didn't like Verity.
That one is
a
lot of sexy time.
It was basically just like
That's what Liv likes, though.
No, I don't. I mean, I appreciate it when it's incorporated in the book, but when it's literally all porn.
Well, I feel like
that's what it is. And what's crazy is I was walking around like during work, like shopping, and I'm like listening to Verity, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And
no,
I'm,
it's like too much.
Well, it's funny because like Liv is just like people just like Colleen Hoover because she just likes to write those scenes.
Yeah, and she just tries to turn.
Sorry, Colleen. if you're listening to this.
She just
She probably
basically
is.
she probably writes like porn like
On the side
Like,
for
on the
herself.
side,
She's like, oh yeah, this sounds real good.
but
Thank you for my pornography.
Wait,
Or
she's
she's like a freelancer
Wait, you see
for the
the
industry.
10 Things I Hate About You?
yeah.
The principal, how she's just like writing like a
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
That's Colleen Hoover.
I
That's
forgot
Colleen
about that.
Hoover, and she's trying to
The
make a career out of it.
throbbing.
But
That's funny.
I will give it to her. This was actually a really good book, and I feel
Yeah.
like it was actually like really
Nice.
sweet, and there was like some really good character development, which I liked. And it was about like motherhood and relationships and like redemption, and I really liked that. And so I would say that was my top, and I think that covers it. I really hope I can read more books this year.
Yeah. So this year, I read in 3 books like that I finished, and then I've been reading / listening to another book that I really like and I want to finish soon. But I read Atomic Habits, which I don't know if you guys have read.
I think I started it. and
I need to read that.
I read Mistborn book 1, which is a Brandon Sanderson book, and then his book series Stormlight Archive. I read the 4th book of that. It's called Rhythm of War, I think. Those books are insane. If you don't like fantasy and
What's wrong with you?
if you don't like reading super long books, it is not for you. Like
It's a brick.
I think that Rhythm of War, I remember Oathbringer, the book before that, probably took me legitimately like a year and a half to finish, because I like would take huge breaks in between, get really into it, take huge break again.
Well, how many pages is it? Like
They're like all 1,150 plus pages long, and they're like super dense. Like Liv sometimes reads books like, oh, it's like 400 pages, but like the words are like
huge.
so huge, and like they're so, and like the font's super
It's like
big,
double space.
and it's double
And
space,
the
and
margins are huge.
my books is like,
pictures too, of course.
and my book is like twice the size of her book, like size wise, like each page is twice as big, and then
I'm just a girl.
they're all like they're
It's like
all
an 8 font.
they're all like yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
and they're all like single space. I'm like, dude, this is insane. They're really good. Like if you like books that really take time with world building and like developing characters, they're really good. So Mistborn was really good. It's shorter. I think it's like 500 or 600 pages and not nearly as dense. I read the first book of that one.
That's a good series.
It's a good series.
Who's
I would
that
say
by?
same author,
Brandon?
Brandon Sanderson. So those, I wouldn't say those like are as compelling characters in Mistborn, but like Stormlight Archive, you really get to know the characters, and like one of the characters I like really don't like, so it's always really annoying reading her parts of the story, and I want
Is it
them
from
to
her
end.
perspective? Does it go back and forth?
It's not first person, but it's like third person about
Okay.
her, basically, like
Mhm.
from her perspective. She's really annoying though, and I'm like, when is her chapters gonna end? Like every time I read them, but it's good. Like the magic is really cool in it. But I think my top book is probably All the Light We Cannot See.
Have you not? What?
I'm probably like a third of the way into it, but it's really good. Premise is like there's this German boy, and he's really good at fixing things. He's like has an engineer's mind. So from a young age,
Is his name Felix?
it's not. I
Okay.
can't remember his name right now, actually. From a young age, he's growing up an orphan. He is like, he's really good at fixing like radios and just fixing electronic things. And this is
Are you sure his name isn't Felix?
And his
could-
name was Adolf.
Felix what?
Is this a young?
Fix it.
Yeah,
It wasn't
Felix.
Felix. In fact, it was not.
Huh.
Well, you're just talking a lot about fixing it.
Yeah.
So I just feel
I
like
guess
his name
that's
has to
true.
be Felix.
Yeah, but it's like set in the 30s and 40s, and so he's from Germany, and then
What
he
a
lives
time
in-
to be a German, am
I
I
know.
right?
He
Yeah.
gets to be part of the Hitler Youth and
Yeah.
all that, and he just loves it.
Wow.
He's like, I just love talking about going to war. It's really awesome. And then about this little girl in France, and she goes blind as a young girl, and like her father's a really good he's a really good father, and like protects her. But then like throughout the story so far, like Germany invades France, and they like have to flee to like a different city and stay with a great uncle. And the German boy is so talented that he goes to like this really prestigious school in Germany, and so it's like telling that part of the story. And then kind of like the subplot is like there's this really valuable gem that they're like trying to hide from the Germans. I guess I'm not giving too much detail, but
That's just what Camden
but
does.
anyway,
Well, you guys
So
know how
this
he
is
is.
That's
fiction,
what you
then.
get for listening to our podcast.
yeah,
This is
sorry
fiction.
guys, it's fiction,
Okay.
but it's really good. Like
Yeah.
you really start to care about the characters and like where they're gonna end up.
Yeah.
They also made
They made a
Netflix
Netflix show of it now.
So if you're not much of a reader but you want the story, you can watch that.
Is it a spin-off from Wreck-It Ralph?
It's pretty similar,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Actually, the girl it's the villain origin story.
Yeah, she regained her
Ah.
sight and wants to race people now. I guess.
Interesting.
because she's so mad at
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. What was her name again?
What's it? Baby Racer? Racer Baby Racer? What was that game that you guys played?
Oh, Racer Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is- okay.
Some game that Britain
Yeah,
has
that's not.
made up.
Let's not get into that.
Anyway,
I
I would
was just
recommend
kidding.
that book. That was probably my top book, even though I didn't finish it this
What
year.
was it called again?
All the Light We Cannot See.
Okay.
Yeah, Anthony Doerr, I think is his name, the author.
Okay.
Yeah.
TV shows.
Covered.
Okay, this was probably the least competitive category for me. Short list: The Bear. Season 1 and 2, we watched both this year. Castlevania Nocturne, Silicon Valley, the Beckham Netflix show, Catch 22, and Barry Season 4. And my runner-up is Silicon Valley. We've talked about that
But
Yeah.
did you watch it for the first time this year?
Yeah.
Oh.
this year. That's become one of my all-time favorite comedy shows in a year. It's so freaking funny. And I'll like get clips popping up on YouTube all the time, and I'll watch the clips all over again. And I'll get to experience the magic all over again. So I love that show. But I think kind of clear number one for me was The Bear. I think we all watched this show.
Yeah, we've
at
all
this
seen
table.
it.
Yeah, I've watched
I haven't-
like half of season 1, I think.
And not because I
Okay.
didn't want to finish it, mostly just because my time.
Yeah.
Well, I think we were like a little bit unsure about it because we're like, wait, because we heard it was a comedy and it's like
It's really not.
really intense.
Yeah.
I think it's
and
just
like
a drama, isn't it?
no, it's described as a comedy
is.
and a drama.
Oh.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you look it up on Google or whatever, it will say that.
I fell into the same trap. I thought
So I
this
was like, this isn't very funny.
Kinda
This is
had
like super
different
intense.
expectations.
Was that hard on your anxiety?
Well, I had to crawl.
Yeah.
I had to crawl under a desk and
Weep.
and rock myself back and forth.
Did you start chain
just a
smoking?
little?
We
We
did
don't
dabble.
talk about that.
Okay.
We did dabble.
We didn't. We don't talk about
Micah,
that.
that's a trigger for him.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you don't want to
Yeah.
send him back into that. Dark
Well, I'm
place.
curious to hear why you like The Bear so much because I
Yeah.
really like it too, but I can't really pinpoint why I
What
like
you like
it.
about it.
Because
Yeah.
Alan White is just a hottie.
There you go.
He's kind of weird looking though.
Is that
I feel
Carmi?
like.
No, I think he's
Yeah.
good looking.
You think Carmi is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of weird.
And he's
looking.
kind of
I don't know.
jacked.
I,
Yeah, have
He's
you looked at
definitely
pictures
jacked.
of him?
I saw that Calvin
his shirt
Klein
off?
thing recently. So.
I'm not saying
I
that
didn't
I'm
even
looking
see
at
that,
pictures of him,
But
he
I
looks
did see
good.
well, he's in that wrestling movie that just came out, so that's
Oh, he
I think
probably got
that's
jacked
why.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I fell into the same trap as you because I don't remember what we'd watched before this, but I came home with this aspiration to watch this as like an hour show.
What?
Micah and me. I was like, oh, this will
What
be a
show?
fun little comedy show for us to watch together, The Bear. And then like we started watching it, I was like, this isn't funny. Not really.
They're just kind of
That's
like
really
yelling at
good.
each other in a kitchen all
Yeah.
the time.
But I think it's like really well shot. There's one
Mhm.
episode in the first season that's like a long take, the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Like you
that's
can't
cool.
see a single cut. And I think
Oh,
it's the
yeah,
one
okay.
where he freaks out at everybody.
Isn't that that's like the second to last or last episode of that
Is
season?
that the one where Richie gets stabbed?
Maybe it's the
Hey,
one.
spoilers.
It's the one where they've got like the online orders and like the tickets are coming in like crazy fast and like
Oh, because they didn't put a cap on it. or
yeah,
whatever?
and it's just
wait.
a freaking pressure cooker, and the whole episode takes place on this like day of service, and there's no cuts, so it's like a
I thought that was
continuous
the last
thing.
episode of season 2.
No,
No.
that's in season 1.
Because that's the opening.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Okay, you're right.
I think
Yeah,
this
I'm
is-
rememering now.
Opening day.
I
of the
think
first.
that was.
I think it's in the middle of season 1.
I think it was either six. I think it might have been 6 or 7.
It's because like another thing that's great about the show is it'll have an episode like that's like just freaking frays your nerves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you finish it and you need to like take a walk after. And then the next episode will be like them going to a birthday party and like catering and accidentally putting all the kids to sleep. And like,
Oh yeah.
just like, and it's the way that they write like family and friend drama is like so good.
Yeah.
It's like feels so realistic the way they talk to each other and the way they resolve things and the way they don't resolve things.
Yeah.
And then when you get to season 2, there are some episodes that like just freaking blew me away when I watched them. The Christmas episode, you guys.
That one was so good.
Oh
But,
my
like,
gosh!
But like it's so stressful. It felt like real life. Like
Yes.
you were just like
Yeah.
living
Yes.
in that episode almost.
Yeah, I've realized
Yeah.
that there's like some movies where you're like, I'm watching a movie, I'm seeing people act,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
there's this where you literally feel like
Yes.
somebody walked through an event and just recorded
Yeah.
everything.
Like you're
Yeah.
feeling all the emotion.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're there.
Yeah.
The Christmas one hits the nail on the head. With
Unbelievable.
How you're describing it.
And then the one I think right before that, or maybe 2 before that, is one where the pastry chef goes to
Denmark.
Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
So
that
good.
episode. Like that,
Yeah.
like him finding himself and like
Yeah.
being in a tough environment, but the guy that was training him was like tough but fair on him and like
Yeah.
liked him. I
Is it-
love their
Does it
dynamic.
continually follow Carmi, or are there
No,
other...
it like
No, it
splits
follows
into
everybody.
separate
Okay.
Yeah.
episodes just about like one character basically.
Carmi is the main character.
Like
Yeah.
but like
I
Rich,
think everyone like gets their own
Yeah.
Get their
feature.
time.
like
Okay.
Richie, like I love that show. Like
Yes.
Richie gets his own episode.
that episode
and that
is-
was like a fantastic
awesome.
episode because you're like
Yeah.
you kind of like don't like Richie because he's kind of a dick.
yeah.
Is
But
he like the older cousin? that's,
yeah,
like, always
he's
hating
kind of
on
the
him?
worst. But then you kind of like figure out like he's not really good at anything, but he finds something that he's good at and is like proud of that thing.
And that's the whole episode, and it's
And-
right after the Christmas one.
Yeah,
And it's like
Mm.
just like 3 perfect episodes all
Yeah.
right next to each other. It's I think it's
It's a good
peak
show.
TV.
I've been wanting to watch it again because
Yeah.
Cam and I started it because I thought it'd be a show we would watch together,
Yeah.
and then
I think
Couldn't
I think it was
finish
just too intense.
It
for
was
us
really
at the time
intense,
or
but-
something.
It is.
but because
Yeah.
we would, we watched like an episode of TV to like wind down before bed sometimes, and
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
really a wind down show.
No.
No.
Especially the Christmas one, like
Oh my gosh.
stressful.
But then like it'll follow it up with a Richie one where you just
Yeah.
you just feel like you're ready to go conquer the world after you finish that episode.
I don't think I could watch
They
that.
tear you down and build you back up.
Exactly.
I don't think I could watch that show like as it comes out because I think
It would be too much.
It'd be like
Yeah.
too much. I'd be like,
You're, waiting
I would
for
like
that
be in the
episode.
Christmas episode. I'd be
Yeah.
like, dude, like I need to watch another one to like
Yeah.
settle myself back down.
Yeah.
But
I can't recommend this show enough. I love it.
It's a great show.
I really hope it keeps up its quality.
Yeah,
like
hopefully-
this show, I think more than any other show I've watched, I hope they keep up its quality.
Yeah, hopefully it's not like one of those things where they keep going with the show too long and you're like,
Right.
this should have ended like in season 3 or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, they came out with the second season pretty quickly after the first.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they
I
must
like
have
when
written
they're
them
like
close.
consistent like that because when you're waiting so long.
Yeah. Yeah. I
and then
agree.
you kind of forget like where the show's at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's my number 1.
Do you have a number 2?
My number 2 is Silicon Valley.
Oh, okay. Okay, so my TV shows on my list was Silicon Valley, made it on my list. I watched Silo this year. It just has 1 season. It's really good.
Is that on Apple TV?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
put Bluey on here because I watched it with my niece.
Good.
Respect.
Yeah, I just think it's so
Bluey.
good. Like, I think I went over there and I was supposed to be babysitting and we watched like a whole season of Bluey.
And you didn't realize that like was gone.
I know, she ran away.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Mike was just watching it.
I guess that's all I wrote down. I think Silicon Valley is my number 1.
Okay.
Just because
The Bear's not on the.
Well, the bear. Okay, the bear is number 1, but because Braden already said it, and I
We
think
can't
that
all.
we can't all have that be
Yeah.
our number 1.
That was in contention for mine too, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the bear is my number 1,
Yeah.
but because I'm not gonna, I want to have some variety.
Tell me what you liked about the bear, Micah.
So I actually think that the bear.
I have a
Let's
transcript
all-
of what I said. Do you want to just read from that?
So obviously the bear's number 1. So my next number 1 is Silicon Valley, and then I think Silo. I just think like Silo is
What's Silicon Valley on?
HBO.
HBO.
We'll have to watch that
Yeah.
because we haven't seen that.
It's really funny.
Okay, so it's a comedy.
Yeah,
But yeah.
Okay.
for sure. Have you guys seen? This is.
I watched part of the first episode and it was kind of funny, but I'm not just kidding.
Have you seen? I don't know if you This is a shot in the dark, but have you seen Office Space? Okay.
Is that like similar to it? Or?
Same writer.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you like about Silicon Valley?
We have
already-
a whole episode on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I guess you guys did.
So we'll just go listen to that episode.
So my top was Outlander. They came out with season
Liv, it only
7.
counts if you watched it for the first time
The
this
show's
year.
season
It was the
7
new
this
season.
year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Outlander season 7.
Season 7
Yeah.
part 1
My
came
God.
out.
And she probably watched a good amount of it some other time this year too, because she likes that show.
Yeah, I rewatch it
Yeah.
a lot. It's just like, I don't know, historical fiction and fantasy together,
Mhm.
which is really fun, and like romance, so it kind of has everything.
Not enough sexy time in this season though.
Yeah.
But it still made her number 1. And it was a part 1
Well,
too.
It actually
it really
My
offended the
word.
Facebook group of Outlander fans that there wasn't more skin between the main characters.
I think
You've
my
seen
parents.
Outlander?
No.
I think my parents started watching it, and I was like, "Are you guys serious?" Like,
It's like the
You
first
will.
few seasons is
Probably
like
just 'cause it's
pretty
Scottish.
racy.
It's pretty steamy.
There's like
Sorry, Mom, that Liv watches this.
my mom and I watch it together.
yeah,
He's
Uh,
saying sorry to his mom.
My
Oh.
She's gonna be.
No, he's saying sorry to my mom
Oh,
that
sorry.
you watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, the first few seasons are pretty racy. There's like a lot of sex scenes, but
Mhm.
they're
a lot of
also
racism.
what's that? A lot, yeah,
And a
I
lot
mean-
of racism.
a lot of misogynist guys and slavery.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Well, it's like that
Yeah.
time period.
Well, because
Yeah.
it's set in Scotland, and then they end up moving to America during like before the American Revolution.
Basically any
Oh.
event that happens between like
1760 or 1740 and
1780.
75.
Yeah,
76.
they're like involved in whether it's like here, like England,
Because
Scotland, and
it was set
New
during
West.
the
Yeah.
Jacobite Revolution
Yeah.
in Scotland when they're trying to, you know,
become
re-
their own nation.
become their own nation.
Yeah.
And then so they're part of that whole thing, and then they end up moving to America, and they're part of the Revolutionary War, and so that's
Does
what.
it ever talk about pirates at all? This was right during that time too.
I don't think there's many pirates, but I haven't seen
Pirates?
all of it.
I
like you
mean,
have.
they were actually on a ship on one of the
with pirates. Weren't they? I don't know.
I'm trying to remember.
There's
Literally,
so much that happens.
there's so much that happens.
Yeah. Not in this season,
Okay.
though. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that.
yes, in this season.
Really?
Yeah, but there wasn't a lot of sexy time. So
There wasn't any sexy
That's
time,
what
and that
matters.
really
How are you
upset
supposed to
the
pay attention?
Karens
Well, there's
of
sexy
the
time
internet.
between the wrong characters. not the
Yeah,
right
the
ones.
daughter and her husband.
like a
there was like one sex scene, and that wasn't enough.
For
Yeah.
the fans.
I thought you were gonna
they-
say like the wrong people, as in like Game of Thrones type thing.
No.
No.
Like everybody likes this one character named James Fraser.
He's a
And
hottie.
What's his name?
James Fraser.
He's
Fraser.
Scottish.
Well, I mean, I haven't
Scottish.
seen the show, but just hearing it sounds like there wasn't enough.
He's a heartthrob. Okay, but they started it when they were both really young, and like the show's been going on for a long time,
Yeah.
and now they have intimacy coordinators. The main character has had a baby, and it has been postpartum, so they've like really cut down
Cut it
on.
back.
Yeah,
on
Because the
that.
actors don't really want it anymore.
Well, they've been
want to do that
exploited.
stuff. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they are not protecting themselves,
Yeah.
and so people are just really upset about that. I don't care. I enjoyed it. I
Honestly, good
appreciated
time.
it. I mean, you still see Jamie shirtless a lot. You don't need to see him like in the
He
act.
needs to rescue Claire like 5 times every
Literally,
season.
the main character
From kidnapping.
Claire is kidnapped at least once every season.
So she's like Princess Peach.
Yeah. I was gonna say
Pretty
Helen of Troy, but
And
that's
he's
way
like,
better.
and he's like Mario but Scottish.
Pretty much. But they
Is he
had
still
to.
a plumber?
No,
No.
I don't even know
Yeah.
what he's like a homesteader, I guess. And
Yeah, well, they're homesteaders in like he was a laird in Scotland, and then when they went to America after the Jacobite Revolution, they became homesteaders, and
Yeah.
then they got involved in the war. And he's a really good swordsman fighter.
yeah.
But I lost my place where I was gonna go with that.
Could he beat Zorro in a sword fight?
Could he beat the guy from
think?
Princess Bride?
Debatable, yes.
Which guy?
Oh,
Which guy?
All of them.
All of them?
wait, even what's the guy's
All
name?
of them.
Inigo Montoya?
Yeah.
No, he lost though to Wesley. So
Oh, yeah.
Wesley's probably the best.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could beat Wesley though.
He could be Wesley.
I think so.
Could he beat Geralt of Rivia?
Well, he's a Witcher. I feel
Not
that's a little
possible.
unsafe.
Yeah,
It's
there's
probably not
there's
fair.
no way.
Yeah.
Geralt's too
Unfair
fast.
advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that was really good. The 6th season was cut short because of COVID. And so basically they were trying to fit so much into the 7th season that it got cut into 2 parts. So what I liked about it was like literally every single episode something was happening. Like there weren't like just like filler episodes, which is what you get a lot in the first few seasons. Like when you're watching, there's actually something happening and it keeps your attention, because I mean some of those kinds of shows can just kind of drag.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it.
It's a lot of seasons to have for like any show.
Well, I mean,
So-
it's a book that's been going on for
Yeah.
like 20 plus years.
Yeah,
Like the
that's
first book
great.
came out in the 90s. I also really liked the Bridgerton spin-off of Queen Charlotte, I think it was,
Uh-huh. This
and
one's
her
called
love
Riverton.
story. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Nice.
How
Did you
did
feel like
know?
there was enough sex?
Not in the first
What
season.
if there was a
Not enough
Highlander-
for me.
What if there was a Highlander Bridgerton crossover?
Outlander.
Woo.
Whatever, yeah. Outlander.
My heart is racing just thinking about
Yeah.
that. And that was really good. I didn't finish that because I really loved it and I didn't want it to end, and then I kind of forgot about it.
What's it
Queen
actually called?
Charlotte?
The Queen Charlotte. There's
Okay.
like one episode left that I have to finish, and I haven't finished it yet. It's on Netflix.
Is it called the Queen Charlotte?
It's just Queen. It's like Bridgerton, Queen Charlotte, or something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like a spinoff of like
Yeah.
one of the
It was
characters.
good. I watched it.
You watched it too?
Yeah.
It was sweet. We watched a lot of shows together. Camden will mention. You can go ahead and share
Okay.
those.
I actually didn't think I watched a ton of like stuff that I finished or really liked this year, but I actually did. I watched The Bear 2, really good.
I feel like our favorite TV shows that we watched were at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, when we had more time to
we
watch
had
them
more
together.
time to watch them.
Yeah. So I watched One Piece, which
The new one?
like
one
the
on-
live action.
Yeah.
And it's actually really entertaining. It's like very like they did a really good job of like making it seem like an anime, just
It
really
was
ridiculous,
so
but just
stupid.
funny. I watched some Veep. I don't know if you guys have seen Veep.
Yeah.
It's really entertaining. True Detective. I think I watched season 1.
That-
Whoa.
That is so good.
That's a good
The
show.
first season.
That
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have to. Okay, I watched that because it had Matthew McConaughey in it, and
Yeah.
it was super dark, and I really struggled.
Super dark.
But like, my word, is that good?
That's
Yeah.
a good show.
Except I had to block out the ending.
It's pretty rough.
Oh yeah. We finished Game of Thrones. We had been working on it for a while, and we finished it, and that was
I
the
wanna
ending was
rewatch it.
disappointing
I
for
want to
sure.
rewatch it now. That was a good one.
I watched a lot of Peaky Blinders, but didn't finish it. I'm really bad at like finishing long form stuff for some reason, but watched The Last of Us. I would say my top 3. This is really hard for me to choose like one. Top 4 really, but we already talked about The Bear.
Top 5.
But The Last of Us, Severance, and Shrinking are all really good.
You watched.
Did you watch
I
Severance?
Yeah,
Severance
that
and
was really
Shrinking.
good.
So
Yeah.
good.
The la-
I wish I'd remembered that. Severance would have made it on my list.
yeah.
I know when
remembered.
you mentioned Apple TV, we were like Severance.
Yeah, that's really
'Cause
good.
we watched it in like January
It
or
was
February of
early
last
this
year.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hate coming into a really good show on the first season.
Oh, I know.
I
It's kind of the
hate
way-
it.
because they leave you off in that show, and you're like,
Oh my gosh,
just
the
want to watch
ending
season
was
2,
such a
Yeah.
cliffhanger.
dude. And then
I
like
was
there was all
dying.
like the strikes with BAFTA or whatever.
Yeah,
and so they were
yeah.
like going to start
Writers.
filming.
Have they filmed it yet? Or?
I don't think they've even started filming.
Oh
No.
But there's like all
gosh.
this strikes because they I think originally like announced like, oh, we're gonna come out with this. We're planning on coming out with it like this year, I think, like early this
Yeah.
year, and then they've had to postpone it.
I'm probably gonna have to wait till
so
2025 for it.
maybe the end of this year. Really sad
Because like that was like the same thing with like Silo, where like my brother
Oh,
really
man.
wanted me to watch it, and there's only one season, and I was like
Yeah.
texting him afterwards because I was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
And like all these questions, and like Braden didn't watch it, so I like needed to talk to someone about
Right.
it.
I feel like we both felt like kind of empty inside after watching
Yeah.
Severance for a couple days.
Yeah. So I'll say my number 2 is Shrinking. I think it's just so funny. Like Jason Segel's character is hilarious. Harrison Ford is awesome in it.
Yeah.
Really endearing story.
See, he said sequel.
Yeah, I know.
Is it Segel? or-
I've always heard Seagal, but
I don't know.
I've
When I
always said
talked about
Siegel.
it on the pod a couple weeks ago, I said Siegel, and Braden was like,
I don't know what it's supposed to be. Anyway,
Utah State Bird.
I think my joint top is The Last of Us and Severance. I don't think I can choose between them because Severance is just so like just keeps you on
So
your feet,
hard-hitting.
on your toes
Yeah.
the whole time.
well, it's like picking between your kids, you know.
Exactly. Well, I only have one, so I only
Well, you
to
will have
choose
2
one.
though.
That's true.
Yeah. So
And then
Picking
The Last
between
of Us. I don't if you've ever played the game. It's like the story's really solid, but I think the show just expands on it, and
You watched that, right?
Mhm.
No.
it's really good. Like the character development's awesome. There's only one episode I didn't really like, but the rest of it, like, you really just care about the characters and how they progress and
Which one
the
did
story.
you not like?
The one where they're like in the mall running around.
Oh yeah, that one was kind of scary.
Yeah, it kind of just like felt off from the rest of the show. Like that the episode didn't really belong there, I
Yeah.
guess.
yeah.
Because the rest of the show like is very progressive, and then that episode you're like, I don't really care about this like random other character that's
What do you mean by
in the show.
progressive? Like it's moving the story
moving
forward?
the story
Okay.
forward, and if it like has flashbacks, it feels really relevant to the
Yeah.
story, and
Okay.
it just didn't feel like that it needed its whole own episode to go into like
Yeah.
the backstory of these characters. Maybe it needed like a part of an episode or something, but
I don't know. That show just like stressed me out way too much.
Very
I don't think I
stressful.
enjoyed it the way you did.
I think I enjoyed it more because I played the game.
I enjoyed
No.
the really sweet episode of the two men that fall in love, and it's just their love story. And
That was a
then
good
once,
episode.
and then once they start to die or whatever, that's when I got stressed
Yeah,
out.
So how was your anxiety on this show?
Worse than Camden.
Yeah.
It's so
He had to share his meds with me.
You know what's
Well,
funny?
I have a good show for you guys to watch to calm down. It's called The Bear.
Oh, no, I don't think I would do it. But it's funny. The funny thing about that gay man episode is what's the actor? It's the guy who plays
Yeah.
Ron.
Ron
Swanson.
Ron Swanson.
It's so funny because
You would never expect to see
He
Ron
has this sweet
Swanson
gay
kiss
romance.
another man, but
Yeah.
you see
Yeah.
it.
Well, have you
Yeah.
seen Where the Millers? Or
yeah.
Oh
Is
wait,
he in-
yeah.
he's in
yeah,
Weird
where
Mills.
they're gonna like start swinging or whatever,
Oh,
and he
Yeah.
just
yeah.
keeps poking the guy in the ear, and he's like
Yeah.
ear effing him with his finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I forgot about it.
but I played the game. I played the game The Last of Us first, and so I think that's why I liked it more because I knew what was going to happen the whole time. But
Yeah.
it just did like an even better job of like building the story. So
Nice.
yeah, that's mine.
Did House of the Dragon come out this year? Or was that last year?
Yeah, that was season
Mhm.
one.
Nothing?
Could have been 2022. I don't know.
Dang,
No,
'cause-
I feel like it came out
This year.
this year.
was it this year?
Could've
Dang,
been.
we left that one off. That one deserves to be mentioned, I think.
Did you finish it?
Yeah. I
Well,
liked it a lot.
Well, that's what got us into Game of Thrones.
Liv had a hard time getting
Really?
into it.
But it was just hard going from Game of Thrones because I was so attached to the characters. And,
Yeah.
And then no one's the same.
well, I think
Yeah,
we like
that's
started it
true.
like that night because we were so disappointed in the ending of Game of Thrones. We were
Yes.
like, we need something. We need
It's
to
so
pick me up.
depressing.
And I mean, House of Dragon, like we just
You
need to get
start
into
from
it.
square one where it like needs to build again. I
I-
guess.
And it took
Yeah,
us a couple
so-
tries to get into Game of Thrones. So
Yeah.
maybe we just need to give.
I
House of
loved
Dragon
Damon though. I
time.
thought Damon was so freaking cool, even though he's kind of a
That's like the uncle.
yeah.
I've heard really good things about his character development, so maybe it's worth.
Let's get
trying
into.
again.
Okay, movies. This is our last category. My short list is as follows: Aliens. That's the second one, because there's an S. All right, Oppenheimer, The Killer, starring Michael Fassbender, who you may know from The Killer. John Wick Chapter 4, The Menu, Marcel the
good.
Shell with Shoes On, and Straight Outta Compton. So some of these are older. Like Straight Outta Compton, I think came out in like 2017 or 2018, but I watched it for the first
So we
time.
watched The Menu. What did you like about it?
I
Did you not
thought
like it?
It was.
I stand undecided about it.
I thought it was very darkly funny,
Hmm.
and yeah, just really sharp. Just really sharp.
I think it's also
I like the sharpness.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we thought it was going to be one type of movie,
Yeah, me too.
and it wasn't that, and so it was a nice surprise
Hmm.
that
Okay.
it wasn't.
And it was tense,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
excited because it was a thriller kind of horror adjacent movie. And after I finished it, I was like, "Oh, Micah could totally handle
Yeah.
this."
Well,
So I
and-
was like excited because this is something we don't usually get to
What,
watch.
Mhm.
So what's like a movie or show that would be too sensitive? Or you're a
True
little too-
Detective.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Well,
For
that,
sure.
but that's not horror though.
No,
It is really dark though.
it is
Yeah.
really dark.
Yeah.
What,
But like a lot of violence. So like we watched
Uh-huh.
Fury, and that was way too.
So like
violent.
John Wick
Wow.
would be like no go for you.
I've
think?
seen 1 and 2, but I
I feel like
don't.
John Wick is more action though.
And like when it's
Yeah,
It's
that's-
bloody, though.
absurd, I can tell myself that's not real.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
I watched District 9 and like that's
Oh.
like a lot of violence.
So
it's,
if it's something that
aliens.
kind of feels
Mhm.
more real, like really dark, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
violent, realistic, True Detective definitely is like that.
Yeah.
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 Like
really
I
dark.
really had like the last episode or whatever. I like some of it I had to mute it and then cover my eyes while it was happening
my
because I was
gosh.
like I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But, like
Oh,
it
yeah.
was so
Oh,
good
True
that
Detective.
True
Yeah.
I
Detective.
haven't seen that.
It's good.
It's a lot.
It's really intense.
I'm really sensitive to that kind of thing
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I think you could get through it though.
The ending is
Just take your time.
Don't
But
rush
it's freaking. It's very good.
Yeah,
it's
I
very
did-
good.
I-
Is there
don't-
one season?
there's
There's
three,
So
but
like,
it's
but each
self-contained.
season,
I think.
yeah,
It's a
each
different
season
story.
is its own thing.
This
So-
this one people regard as like the
The best
best
one.
for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
I think for me with that show specifically, it's like I didn't watch it all. I don't think you could binge it. I guess you could, but I
don't think
wouldn't
it would be
recommend
healthy.
it.
Well, it's like everything
Yeah.
heavy that you can think of.
Yeah.
Like-
They touch on like murders, the R word,
Is
freaking
it?
child abuse,
Yeah.
The R word as in sexual.
infidelity,
Dark, just dark.
everything heavy.
Oh,
that
I'm
you
like
can
thinking
think
of all the R words again in my head.
Okay.
Just really dark, like what a
Sexual deviancy,
Yeah.
like all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff.
It's a
Oh,
lot.
substance abuse.
Yeah.
Like there's all of that in this.
yeah, just
in
be like
this
a
show.
dark, like a very dark thing for a
Yeah.
detective to have to investigate, kind of thing.
Yeah, so I thought the menu was very sharp.
Nice. That was
This
dumb.
this I've realized over the course of saying sharp like 4,000 times that it's a pun because it's they're working at a kitchen with knives and all that. But I like the funny parts. I think are really funny. I think it's just really well written. It's intense. I love the ending actually because it's like such clever, subtle storytelling. I'm not gonna spoil it because I want people to watch it, but it's really good. This. Like I had a really hard time picking my number one and my number two for this, so the menu's kind of a tie for number two with Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Yeah, you laugh.
You like
You freaking laugh.
I feel like you were trying to convince us to watch it, and we're like, I don't know.
Wait, did you watch the
It's-
YouTube video when you were little?
No,
that's what it based on.
Yeah,
we
was
watched
based
it
on that.
here.
Yeah,
The
With
YouTube
you.
video?
You guys showed it to us.
You showed it to
I had
us.
never
Okay.
seen it before.
I think that like we both grew up with that YouTube
No, I
video.
didn't.
Oh, you did?
No.
Okay, I did. I grew up like watching that YouTube video, and it was
Okay.
like very quoted in my house,
Oh.
and so like this movie was like
Well,
just nostalgic,
you
basically,
think-
even though it was new.
Hang on though, you think it's gonna be just like funny like the video?
Yeah,
This movie's really touching.
yeah. Well, it's funny because we were on the plane and coming
Yeah.
back from England, and
Yeah.
Braden watched it without me, and I was pissed because I was asleep. And then I wake up, and he tells me this, and I'm so mad. And then we watched it together
Again, on the same
on the
plane.
plane.
Yeah, it's very touching. It'll make you think about like family and all that kind of stuff. It's good. Have you not seen it yet?
No, I don't know that Liv could handle animation personally.
It's half animation, half real.
She's kind of scared of that stuff.
Just
Oh yeah,
What
you don't
kind
like claymation, right?
Oh, is it
It's
claymation?
not-
no, it doesn't look like
No.
that. It's like it looks.
It's like stop motion. It's just a shell. It's a
no,
shell.
no, I can't handle it.
That's what I
But
said,
it's
I
not
don't
like
think she could.
clay.
It's just the shell too.
She
Everything
doesn't
else
like.
is
She
real.
doesn't like
Everything
the stop motion.
I had
I
to
love
face
that
my
movie.
fears though
Understand.
because over
This
over Thanksgiving break, our Camden's cousin's daughter, our niece, basically was watching it a ton.
She likes
and-
creepy stuff right now. It's kind of weird. She's
and
like
so
3.
I had
they
to
all
watch
go
it.
through that phase.
Yeah.
That's early. At 3,
Yeah.
that's really early
Yeah.
She
to
was
go
like,
through
I
that
want to
phase.
watch Nightmare for
Yeah.
Christmas, and we're
She's
like,
having
oh,
a Grinch
why?
themed birthday party. She
Oh,
calls
that's fun.
herself Mrs. Grinch.
That's funny. Wait, have you seen Fantastic Mr. Fox?
I don't think she can watch that either.
It's clever. I
Okay.
wish that it was like normal animation.
She doesn't like kind of alternative forms of animation.
I do really like the story. I like the humor. I
Yeah.
just wish that it was. I just wish it was made differently.
Was that the end of your list?
No, sorry. One
She-
more.
Oh, I thought you-
Well, 2 more.
Is it 3 more?
Oppenheimer is a tie for second as well.
Really, you liked it that much?
I loved Oppenheimer. I thought it was really good.
This is based on just like the one time you
Just
saw it?
one time that I've
Okay.
seen it. I think I would like it more as I watched it more though, because I would like it moves so fast, and there's so much information being thrown at you.
Yeah, there's
I'm sure that I missed a lot of stuff, but like I was very disappointed with the last 3 Christopher Nolan movies because it was
Mm-hmm.
Tenet, which I hate.
Oh, that was horrible.
Have you rewatched it?
No,
I think it would be better rewatching.
I'm sure it would be, but I still don't think I'm really gonna like it.
Mm.
And then
Well,
Dunkirk.
because we have issues with like the whole idea of like a paradox of all that.
Well, no, I
right?
just it
Well,
felt.
also
Well,
kinda
okay,
poorly
whatever.
made.
Keep going.
We'll talk about that at some point. But like Dunkirk, I couldn't get through. I thought it was boring. And then Interstellar, I know people love, but I did not.
Oh man. Okay,
Yeah.
I have to disagree. I love that.
Because I saw Arrival first, and I think I was comparing them the whole time, and I think Arrival's a lot better.
I think Interstellar is better.
I disagree with
But-
that. Anyway,
Okay.
Did I cry?
so
during
I was
that?
like-
I probably cried during that.
Interstellar.
Ellen,
Yeah.
when Matthew McConaughey's crying.
That
And
was
when
a
he's
sad
like
part.
trying to
Who?
like, get his daughter's attention.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went into Oppenheimer not expecting to really like it, and I thought it was excellent. But I'm gonna have to give my number 1 to John Wick Chapter 4 because it's just so cool, and the action
I
is
was not
so.
expecting that to be number 1.
The action is so John Wick. It's just
Oh, yeah.
great. Yeah.
The stairs scene.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the stairs
Stairs scene
scene,
is
the
nuts.
scene at the Arc de Triomphe when they're going around and they're fighting in the roundabout and throwing each other into cars.
That's a good one.
And then the overhead scene with the fire shotgun. You don't remember that? Where it's
can't remember.
showing from above?
Like where they're fighting
Yeah.
the house.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one.
Did you watch that? Micah?
This
I've seen that
movie
scene, but that was
freaking
it.
kicks
I didn't
ass,
watch it.
man.
But you could also get the Japanese hotel is
Awesome.
awesome too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of it. Awesome. It's great.
It's a great
You're done?
action movie.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So the movies on my list are Blackberry, Marcel the Shell, Straight Outta Compton, Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret, Banshees
Oh.
of
No, that was
Inisherin.
last year we watched that.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strike it.
Forget I said that. Barbie made it on my list.
Was that number 1? Banshees. No, it's gone.
No.
Okay.
I think we watched Sense and Sensibility this year.
Okay.
And that I
It's
just
on
have to
your
mention
list?
so Braden read Sense and Sensibility before I did. Then I read it and then we watched the movie. And it was so funny because Jane Austen writes some of these like bitchy characters so
Mhm.
well that like every time that like one of them would come on screen, Braden would just go, bitch.
I remember driving home from work, and like it's a really peaceful little drive.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened. It was something to do. Who's that character that like is trying to cause some shit in that book? One of the girls, one of the twins.
sister-in-law
Yeah,
or
the
something.
sisters.
Yeah.
She like did something, and I just like screamed, like the window was down. And I was like, "Bitch!" Genuine reaction to like listening to that book. And sorry,
That was
keep going.
so funny.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's not something that I would have thought Braden would have gotten into,
Yeah.
but it just made me laugh that, like, every single time a character he didn't like, bitch! Clue made it on my list just because it was so
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
It was just a fun movie. And
Now I'm
then,
gonna go home and make love to my wife.
exactly.
Wait,
so
that's from
funny.
Clue?
Yeah, it's at the very end.
It's very quotable.
I've never seen
Oh,
Clue.
wait, is it the gay guy? The
Yeah.
supposedly gay
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah.
That's right.
Is it like a comedy?
Yeah.
Drama
It's
comedy?
comedy.
It's comedy
okay.
for
It is
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Klaus made it on my list
This is good.
just because I watched it, like, when I was home by myself.
Is that the Christmas,
Christmas
movie.
one?
It was
I've
good.
heard good things about
Yeah.
that one, but the animation, I can't watch that one.
It's
not
It's not
No, I
even-
know,
She
it's just
doesn't. She
freaky.
doesn't like the alternative forms of animation at all.
I wouldn't even call it
It's like-
alternative. It's
yeah.
just, it looks normal to me.
I don't know.
So I think my top movie is Marcel the Shell. It
Yeah.
was so good.
Really? I love that
I
movie.
loved it. And then I think my second movie is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Because it's kind of like a coming of age. Have you guys seen it?
I saw it when we flew to Hawaii.
It was so
on the
good,
plane.
but it also made me so anxious to like have kids someday. Because like
But we're done having kids.
that's true.
Yeah.
So Margaret is 11, turning 12 at some point during the movie, I
Mhm.
think. And she moves from New York City to the suburbs. And her friends, it seems like she was like a normal little kid in New York City. And then she moves into the suburbs and becomes friends with her neighbor, who basically is the same age as her and wants her to grow up. So she's
Mhm.
like, I need to buy a bra, even though she doesn't need a bra. And like
Mhm.
is obsessed with like just all these things. And it's like her friend is making her grow up too fast.
Mm.
And like at the end of the movie, she finally is like, I'm gonna be my own person. I don't need to be friends with you.
Mhm.
But it just made me like It was sad.
It was sad.
Yeah.
It was sad, like the whole situation with her mom too, and marrying someone outside the religion, and
Yeah.
like how she was cut off from her family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked about a lot of
It
different things and it really
touched a lot.
Yeah. It was a good movie. But I also feel like I need to say a number 3, and I think Straight Outta Compton is that.
It was
really
so good. So we don't really love musical biopics very
I
often.
think this just feels different though.
This
right?
this one is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
This
Well,
one
it's also
works.
like I didn't know anything about it at all.
About like the group.
Like
kind of thing.
NWA and all that.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of scenes, like a lot of the time, like Bohemian Rhapsody, for as an example, can feel kind of soapy.
I don't like that movie
Yeah.
very much.
And I hate
But,
I
like-
feel like Straight Outta Compton was more like a movie about their story. Like, I don't know. It didn't
Coming
seem
out
like,
of the where they're from kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but there's some emotional scenes in
Yeah.
that like really work in a way that nothing in Bohemian Rhapsody does.
Well, you never really liked Freddie Mercury, in my opinion. Like in that
he was just
movie.
unlikable.
Yeah, you're like, why should I care about this guy? But I don't know. That's actually a movie I do want to see now that you guys have mentioned it.
There is a lot of sexy time.
There's not a lot.
Well,
but
when
when
it
it's there,
is
it's like, oh,
very
whoa.
in your face.
Yeah,
So like if that could just be toned back a little bit, I think it would have been bumped up.
yeah.
Mm,
higher level.
yeah. I think sometimes it's just unnecessary.
I think it was just the way of life for
Well,
them.
I mean, it is important to the story
Yeah.
sometimes in this case because someone.
I just wish that they would have
Contracts something.
covered it a
Mm.
little bit.
Well, I feel like you can know what's happening without it being in your face.
Yeah.
I wish that they would have covered it. a
Yeah.
little
Unless
bit.
it's Outlander, Highlander, whatever.
Outlander.
Outlander. And then there's not enough of it. Yeah,
There's
there can never
absolutely
be.
not.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, what about you, Liv?
Camden and I kind of have a list together of the things
Okay.
that we watched. Honestly, it's been hard for me to remember everything that I've watched this year. And I think Camden will go over like the list because we have a lot of
Some
like,
of
the same
these-
ones.
some of
We
these
watch
I-
movies together a
Yeah,
lot.
some of these I watched just myself on this list, but mostly we mostly watch movies together.
Hmm. But I will say my top movie, we just saw it in theaters, Aquaman 2.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Amazing.
How did I forget about
Amazing
that?
10
cinema.
out of 10, great acting.
Did you guys really watch that in theaters?
So her family every year watches a movie on Christmas.
Okay.
I
And
love
so,
that.
like,
That's great.
Not every year a good movie comes out, but
Yeah.
the unfortunate thing is there actually was a really good movie that came out on Christmas this year. They didn't realize that it was
And they bought tickets ahead
that it
of
was
time
coming out.
for
Oh,
Aquaman.
She'll probably mention it.
We saw The Boys in the Boat. Have you seen The
Oh,
Boys in the
I
Boat
read the
yet?
book.
It
The
is
book is so good.
Oh,
fantastic.
it's
Okay.
so good.
It did
So
not rate very well, at least like Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Not on the
Weirdly-
critics, but
Weirdly enough, I think it
the-
had like a 58. And
Yeah.
we both loved
That's
it.
why I haven't
Yeah.
looked
Okay,
into it
that's
yet.
good to know because I really wanted to watch it, but I wasn't. Like, I didn't want to go to the movie theater and watch it because whatever.
go to the movie theater and watch it. It's
Okay.
good. I mean,
Okay.
if you're gonna see any movie in theaters, that's one I would
It
recommend.
just makes
Okay.
you want to go out and row a boat, though. Like, honestly.
It makes you want to just
Right. Like a
work
pirate
hard
boat?
for what you
It's
have.
kind of like if you see in Creed, you like want to start boxing. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like I want to start
It's
rowing
really
a freaking
motivating.
boat, bro. The knock it got is why people aren't watching is
Yeah.
because like they say they didn't develop the characters enough, but like the characters, in my opinion, are compelling enough to like and to
Yeah.
want them to succeed. And so it just more is like telling their story of like how did they
They didn't really need
become-
to develop the characters
how
to
did they
have them
become a
be
team?
likable.
yeah.
Yeah.
You already like them. Like I don't really think there's a ton needed. So
Yeah. So Camden will go over like most movies that we watched that we liked. My favorite movie that I saw this year though was No Hard Feelings.
so good.
Oh, the Jennifer
With
Lawrence
Jennifer
one?
Lawrence.
That movie was so funny.
It was,
It was.
so funny.
So funny.
I've always loved Jennifer Lawrence, and like I feel like that's the kind of film that she's made for.
I was just
Yeah.
thinking about that movie the other day. Like, the sex scene was so funny.
Oh, at the very end.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
I
not.
think I-
It's not
you
even
showed
a
it
sex
to me.
scene.
You showed it
It's
to me.
not. Yeah. And like the part where I'm sorry that I'm taking this over. The part
Oh,
where
no.
she beats up those kids when she's
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Oh,
that
we
was
love
so like jarring.
Yes.
But like
Oh,
I loved her
That
for
was
it.
so funny.
Like
That'd
she
be
just
She really did that too.
she really did it.
Yeah, those kids like really showed up on the beach, and she really beat them up.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it wasn't
Well,
planned,
you don't
but they
expect
just
to see
kinda-
her naked because
Yeah.
it was like concealing like her chest because they were going skinny dipping and you had no idea like that you were gonna see
And
her
then you just
boobs.
see, like,
Yeah.
everything.
And then
Everything.
you get a
Yeah.
full frontal,
Yeah.
and she looks phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
And so you enjoy every moment of it.
It's so
But
But
funny.
in
It's
like,
just so unhinged.
It's
You're
like
it's so
Outlander.
unhinged.
She's like, hey.
It's not everything like Outlander. Apparently,
I'll never watch it. I'll just always quote it, reference it.
That was really funny.
yeah. I think it was like racy enough without it like going too
Too far.
far.
No, it didn't. Yeah, it wasn't like any real huge like sex scenes, but it was just like there was
No.
just funny.
It was just so funny, and
Nudity.
it was pretty light. You
Mhm.
know, like I feel like I don't know. I just love a good comedy like that, and I love Jennifer Lawrence, and I really liked that the kid. I don't know his name, but he's like a Broadway,
I think it was his first movie, but he did a really good job.
He did such a good job.
Yeah.
and I really liked his
Andrew
character
Bart
development.
something,
You like
I don't remember.
really start to love him.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He's a cutie, and he has a really good voice. I really liked when
Yeah.
he like sang Maneater.
Maneater.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that was definitely my favorite.
All right, so I'll just go a few movies that we saw that were like top.
I feel like we got a lot of like just duds this year. We watched a
Well,
lot that I'm like, that wasn't worth my
we're-
time.
Yeah.
We're a little bit
It's what it
different
is.
where like you guys can enjoy just different aspects that we're kind of like more straightforward on. Like I don't know if you guys have seen like Ex Machina,
Yeah.
but I think from a perspective like Ex Machina could be like, oh, this is really interesting, like
yeah.
like kind of
It's thought provoking.
thought provoking. But that's just for us like
I watched
We're
for
not
pure
as into
entertainment.
like Midsommar. I feel like is another one that's like,
Samar.
I haven't seen that
it's
one.
interesting.
No,
Have you guys
it's-
seen
Midsummer.
Midsummer?
No.
Isn't it Midsommar?
It's a horror. Yeah.
It's
Oh.
kind of a horror, but
It's a
it's
horror
like
movie. That
makes
unconventional, and I think like some people can appreciate different aspects of it, but we're just like, this is like just weird to us.
Yeah, it
But
made me feel weird. Inside.
so that's kind of like what she
Ex
means.
Machina did?
Midsummer.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of what she means when it's like kind of I guess duds more or less. It's just not. It's like highly rated, but stuff we're not necessarily
Mhm.
into. But
Mhm.
some stuff we watched this year. We watched Parasite,
You like
which
that?
is really it is
Parasite
good.
was
Parasite's
good.
crazy.
We liked it.
Yeah. Well, it
Um,
was just like I just didn't expect everything that happened. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm
That scene. Do you know the scene I'm talking about when like you see the person coming out of the basement?
I'm not sure if I know.
That scared the shit out of me.
You scared the cuss out of us.
Like the first time you know someone's in the basement.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, what the freak is that?"
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So we watched
Getting
Parasite.
goosebumps thinking about
Yeah.
those things. It's scary.
And then we watched Oppenheimer, which like I think just was different than we thought it was going to be.
What do you think it was gonna be? Like
I guess
about
more about the atomic bomb, not so much about him.
yeah.
And then
It's
also
like all about the investigation.
and then all about
Yeah.
and then we also like looked into some facts after. And I don't think that Oppenheimer's a very good guy. And
Okay.
maybe that's part of like what the story is kind of trying to do. But it made him seem like he was only
It's based on a book.
yeah, it made it seem like he was only just like a scapegoat where he actually kind of was not the best person. I think he was just the best person at the time. Anyway, so watched Creed 3, which was fine. Zero Dark 30, which was good.
I like that one.
I watched for the first time Spider-Man 1 and 2, like the originals, like from the early 2000s.
You watched them without me?
Two's great.
With Tobey
Yes.
Maguire.
Yeah.
I told you I wanted to watch those. I didn't know
I
you
don't
watched them
remember.
without me.
I
Hey,
didn't
sorry,
know-
we
I
don't
didn't-
allow fighting on this
Yeah,
podcast.
actually, part
As
of
guests, we'll have to object.
the very end of the intro actually says
I didn't know.
no
I don't
fighting.
remember that. I don't remember you telling me that. It was just like when I was being a single mom at night. I watched the Spider-Man, like the new one, the animated one.
Yeah,
It was good.
that was good.
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
That was
It's
That's a
funny.
really good
Yeah.
one.
I think my top movie, which is kind of a rewatch for me, but Liv watched it for the 1st
Mhm.
time,
And it was so good.
and it's like one of my favorite movies is Django Unchained.
Oh yeah, it's
I
great.
just love that movie. It's awesome.
yeah, that movie's awesome.
I just like the action's awesome. The characters are just like so good. The acting is just like
It's really funny too.
really good. Yeah,
yeah,
it's so
Jamie
funny.
Foxx is just great.
I feel like it
in
just hits everything because like
You get to see his balls.
Leonardo Leonardo
Do you see his
DiCaprio.
balls?
You do when he's strung up. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah. You see his
I
balls
guess
for
I
a second.
like averted my eyes.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Jamie Foxx.
What? Why?
From his balls?
Well, I just feel
Are
like,
you a ball lover?
don't you see that all the time in Outlander?
No, you
no, there's no like.
You-
You don't see the
nothing like
balls.
that.
don't. You only see.
You don't-
see the cock.
You see
You see one shaft.
You see no.
Oh,
Shit, my word. I do not like that word.
There's no
His
peens are
throbbing
seen.
member.
So
His ground squirrel.
Django Unchained is top 10 for sure, maybe even top 5 movie for me. All
That
time.
movie's awesome.
That's just a great movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I kind of like a rewatch. I think I actually watched it first time in 2022, but just like, I just feel like that has to be my top, even though
Okay,
technically
but-
it wasn't first.
Okay, but pick
See.
another one though. Also,
That's hard.
did you guys watch that for the first time this year?
Second, no,
What movie?
We had watched it before. I think.
We'd watched it
The Big
before.
Lebowski.
But
But
we watched it with you guys.
Yeah.
Or
No,
you guys watched it with us, I mean.
no, but we watched it a lot this year.
We watched
Is
it
what
like
I'm
2 more
saying.
times,
Really?
I think.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Well, we
It's
showed
so
it. You
funny.
showed it to
Yeah.
us, and we showed it to 2 other people who just didn't appreciate
No,
it.
people don't
That's
get
the
it.
worst.
I like died laughing
It's so
at that
funny.
movie, and they're just like, like uncomfortable, and I'm like, okay, this actually, I don't know if we can be friends anymore.
That's
after
too
this.
bad.
I know.
That's a tricky one. I watched a lot of movies that I liked, but none as good as that one. But I'll say I did watch after your podcast episode. I watched Alien,
Oh, did you like it?
and I really liked Alien.
It's good.
So
right?
I wouldn't say it's like my top movie I saw this year, but I
With Sigourney Weaver.
yeah for like a movie it was like 1979 that
Yeah.
was made. It's like holds up really
It looks
well.
amazing.
So they did a really good job, and I really liked it. And I feel like for like a horror / sci-fi type movie, it's really impressive.
It's so good. Yeah. Did you see the second one?
I think I started it and didn't get farther into it.
Yeah, you kind of
So-
got to get through the very beginning.
Okay.
So overall, are we happy with our year?
Yeah.
I think that 2024 needs to have better movies for me and more books.
Okay.
Well, don't worry. Dune 2 is coming out
That is true.
in March.
We like the first Dune a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I think we just need to watch more movies that are like kind of our lane, where like we don't just because they're critically acclaimed doesn't mean that we'll necessarily like them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, like Banshees of Inisherin is highly rated, but I don't know if it's a movie.
I would
I'm
start.
not sure if it's a movie we'd like or not.
Have you seen In Bruges?
No, haven't.
I would
I
watch
would
that
start with
first.
that one.
Is
Yeah.
is Banshees a comedy too?
Dark comedy? All of his movies are dark comedies.
I think In
Okay.
Bruges is
more comedy,
more comedy
but
than
it's also
Banshees.
in
I
Bruges
think-
some heavy stuff happens.
I know,
So,
but I
like-
would say that like In Bruges is more of a comedy than Banshees.
Okay.
It'll give you a sample of what to expect from that director.
Because I think
Yeah.
Banshees is way more dark comedy than comedy that's dark,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
right?
I think we should give a special shout out to the movie we watched on New Year's Eve.
Oh, what's that movie called?
The Things We Do in the Shadows.
You guys
I
seen
love that movie.
It's so
That movie's
funny.
hilarious.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
What's the other one we watched that's set in New Zealand that we loved?
Oh my
Hunt
gosh.
for the Wilder
Hunt for the
People.
Wilder
Yeah.
People.
Ricky Baker.
That we did watch that
Happy
for the first time this
birthday.
year, and we
Was
absolutely loved
rejected.
it.
That was my favorite movie
Now
for the
it's
longest
left
time.
it.
Ricky Baker.
Ricky Baker. I
Yeah.
love that one.
So anyway, I guess that was our year.
Mhm.
Anything you guys want to do differently this upcoming year?
Well, we will finish Shorzy.
Yeah,
Is
I
that a
think
show?
yeah, it's a
That's
TV
right.
show. I
Okay.
think we want to
Yeah.
finish that this year.
We will finish it.
Yeah,
Probably by the next episode. So. if you
Yeah.
want.
We'll hold you to it as
Okay.
the host.
Yes.
Yeah, next
you
time
must.
we have you on, we must hear about it.
Well, as our guest, do you want to kind of close it up and wrap it
Yeah,
up?
so I think
Wrap it up.
if people want to follow you guys on like Instagram or
don't know why
TikTok
you
or
do
YouTube, I think it's just your guys' handle is at This Is Reviewable, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this
Okay,
is
that's what I
reviewable.
thought. Okay, well, thanks for
Thanks,
having us,
everybody. Yeah.
guys. Okay, bye.
Bye.